Macy's is mulling a buyout offer for $5.8 billion. $5.8 billion for Macy's. And this is a real estate deal. That's what this is. In fact, not too long ago, Macy's actually considered changing its corporate structure to become a real estate investment trust, because the real value in Macy's are two things, basically. The real estate that they own, and they own a lot of real estate, and they're also their online business. They do a significant amount of online business that doesn't get a lot of attention, and they probably should get more credit for it. But it's really a real estate situation. Let's bring in Yahoo Finance here to describe that for you.
They are higher by about 15% on news that the company is weighing a $5.8 billion buyout offer. The proposal comes at an interesting time for the retailer, smack dab in the middle of its critical holiday shopping season and just weeks away from a planned CEO transition. So, is the deal worth considering? With more.
Arkhouse, by the way, is a real estate company. They're the ones teamed up with Brigade Capital Management.
We're now joined by David Swartz, who is the Morningstar Senior Equity Analyst. David, let's start there. Is this deal worth considering for Macy's?
Yes, I think it is worth considering. I think there's a lot of risk if Macy's turns it down flat because you never know when these kind of offers will come by. Now, $21 a share is kind of low. It is lower than the value of Macy's real estate. But you also have to remember that Macy's has $2.8 billion in net debt. It has a history of very uneven results over the past.
They had a portfolio estimate about 3 years ago saying that their portfolio is worth about $20 billion. But any of mall locations that they used to own have probably even declined further in value. Shopping plaza locations even further in value in the last 3 years, right? Shopping plazas are even deader than they used to be.
15 years, really. And the model at Macy's just doesn't work anymore. And so it really is important for Macy's to take this offer seriously and potentially try to get a better price for shareholders.
David, do you think this type of offer, because we're seeing shares of Nordstrom move higher on this,
Macy's is up 15% on this offer.
This unleash, wave of activity for old school iconic department stores like a Macy's, like a Nordstrom that own a lot of real estate. Now we're going to see those buyers step up in here and putting in bids.
Well, that's very possible. We did see Kohl's go through a potential buyout process a couple of years ago. That did not end in a deal. And if you look at Kohl's stock price since, it's way below where it was at that time. It's far below the offers that were.
Right. So if Macy's passes this up, then, the market's going to be like, dude, you just missed a huge opportunity. And again, Macy's shares are now surging about 15 or last time I checked, it was 15%. They have it here at 21% on this headline. That was from late last night, I think. So I don't think that sustained itself. But the thing is with this offer is that you've got to realize what they own. Let's take a look at that a little bit deeper here. Macy's retail department store trades under the stock sticker M. Let's look at here. It has had a roller coaster ride in the past 2 years with trade shares down now minus 32% for the year. Iconic department store chain brought Santa Claus into the mainstream, has emerged from the pandemic as a well-oiled machine. Has it? I don't know about that. Further down, let's go down as far. No, thank you. Let's go down as far as possible. Here we go. Discussion of the real estate portfolio. While Macy's operates 700 physical locations that include Macy's, Bloomingdale's Outlets, and Blue Mercury. Blue Mercury? I don't think we have a Blue Mercury around here. It also owns many of those locations. So like McDonald's, it's kind of a real estate business. Some of those highlights include its iconic 16-acre Bloomingdale's store at South Coast Plaza, plus its crown jewel, $2.2 million square foot Herald Square location, which takes up an entire block. The Manhattan location itself is worth $3 to $4 billion. And yeah, here's the estimate of Macy's real estate portfolio in 2020. It was estimated at $20 billion. Of course, as that guy said, they have about $3 billion in debt, and probably that $20 billion, if it's in shopping plazas, probably isn't the $20 billion that it was in 2020. Even with inflation, shopping plazas, I think, have declined again in value. In 2020, Macy's real estate holdings to be worth about $6 to $8 billion alone. So the valuations have been wildly, there's a big difference between 6 to 8 to 20, wild variations between these numbers. If you're not familiar with the downtown or Manhattan location, so to speak, it is right off of Herald Square. In fact, I actually stayed at the hotel right this little Hilton Garden here on West 35th Street. I stayed there about a year and a half ago. It's right around the corner from Penn Station and Madison Square Garden. You all know, I mean, this location, it's iconic, right? The Macy's parade, the Macy's, they own the whole block between 6th and 7th Avenue. It's quite an operation. But all of this is a real estate deal. When you look at some of the things that have been done with shopping plazas, maybe you've seen this in your part of the country, but let's just take the mall, for instance, where I grew up, which used to have a Macy's. This is what it is now. They've now torn down the old mall, or 95% of the old mall, and built this type of different shopping plaza, which also has apartments way in the back. I don't know if you can see that. So this is a kind of a live, work, shop kind of experience. And definitely the architecture has changed in that instead of a mall where the building is in the middle and you park around the periphery, now you basically drive to the store that you want to, and it has more of a village feeling to it, if you want to call it that, shopping, dining, leasing, where the stores are around the periphery and the parking lots in the middle. There's been a lot of situations like this one here. Demolition of Sears. Now, this is a Sears, not a Macy's, but this is also a mall very close to me here, where they recently, in the last 2 years or whatever, tore down the old Sears and Roebuck and built a giant apartment complex at that location because effectively the real estate was cheap and Sears was out of business. There's also a Macy's at this location. And I mean, come on, how often do you go to Macy's compared to, say, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago? Like, you don't. Have you ever been to a Macy's recently? There's probably some people, if there's anybody watching, which there is good, that you've probably been a long time. You'd be hard pressed to remember the last time you went to a Macy's. And it's ripe for all sorts of creative redevelopment opportunities, which costs money. And I think that's why a lot of discount might be applied to this takeover buyout number, is because while they do own a lot of real estate, it would probably have to be redeveloped.